How you guys doing out there with Facebook, YouTube? Appreciate you guys tuning in, showing up. Today again we have another special guest. We're coming down to the final two episodes of Let's Talk Real Estate. It's gonna be a little bit of a twist. We have our artist here, local artist. Um, it does a lot of work in the city of Reading and surrounding areas. Welcome, Chassie. Appreciate you showing up. Um, Again, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and let him introduce himself. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is.
How's everybody doing? My name is Theron Cook. I'm a visual artist. I reside in Reading, PA, born and raised. And I do a lot of artistic projects around our community and things of that nature. So I'm happy to be here, and I just want to thank Elvin for inviting me. And this should be a fun experience for me.
Okay, no, definitely welcome again, and thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure. I knew Theron for I'm not gonna keep count anymore. Past 10 years. We went to high school together. Great guy. He does amazing things for the city of Reading. He does a couple of pieces. He was just recently in the Reading Eagle and the FMZ for a project that he just completed. In Reading. He could probably elaborate a little more of that art piece. I can even show you the process of it getting there. So you mind if I show that how that picture is the process was coming along?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, hold on for a second. So explain.
Yeah, so this project, it was a collaborative effort. It took a lot of different people to really just manifest this image here. The surface, to give you a little history of at least the project, the physicality of what you see there, is the surface of the building was not in the condition for me to paint the image that you see there. So I had to collaborate and hire a contractor. One of my good friends, he started his business in contracting, and he smoothed out the service so I was able to draw the design and paint what you see at that image there. Um, so, and then on top of that, to get permission to actually create this image, I had to get our committee had to approve the image. It was so many different layers to just get into paint this image on this property. Um, so there's so many. The South of Penn was involved. There's so many different organizations to pull this project off. Aside from me just painting this image.
How long have you guys been working on this?
Uh, this project, the conception of the idea and concept, this took about 2 years to get to that level. I along this process, I've learned so much about the community, what this project entailed. It's just so much. It actually tells a story from uh, from the tradition of the community coming together every Thanksgiving, providing food, welcoming everyone involved, and it was just a traditional thing that they would do, and along with their mindset of helping each other out and taking care of their environment and their community. So that's what that image depicts. So I took all that information along with images and put together that concept in that image. It kind of piggybacks off of the Last Supper, but it also provides a sense of unity, and it has a community dog involved. It was just so many different layers to that particular project. And I don't want to isolate anybody out as far as who was involved. There was tons of people involved, and but that's what it's all about. Bringing people together, working together in collaboration, or to beautify and enhance properties, communities, environments, and that brings up the property value, as and stuff like that. So it was great. I want to do more of those type of projects for sure. Um, so yeah, that's kind of a synopsis of what that is there.
Now, I do know that you had done quite a few in the city of Reading from other murals. I believe you have some at bus stops. I see your little logo. You're the logo at the bus stops.
Yeah.
Every time I drive by there, I say, "That's what that I know the guy." To my kids, this is the guy that did my picture that's in my office. So I know you're very well in touch with the city. What brings you back? What motivates you? What brings you back to the city?
Oh yeah. It's where my heart is. It's where I grew up. It's where I I could really I relate to where I grew up from, in the sense of like uh, survival mode, in the purest sense of just having a certain mindset, growing up in a certain area, and breaking outside of that, being comfortable with being different, with the common understanding of how you should live your life, how you make your money, and things of that nature. So to come back to my hometown and really just provide that education, but be an example of what can and possibly could be done, um, and just provide be a resource for anybody that's interested in you know uplifting the community, because that's the driver of what I do. I utilize my gift and talent to showcase, you know provide that education, but also uh showcase like being unified,
Mhm.
and the message behind what I do, pretty much. So I like to utilize my gift to showcase that.
Now, um, for here in Reading, PA, there's a lot of it's changing from. I know you did the plug, the piece on the floor. I think also on the wall.
Yeah, so I did the inside floor, I did the outside courtyard, and then I actually did the brand identity. Tyler is the owner, so he communicated his vision and his idea,
Nice.
and I took that what he told me, and then I uh, created the image, the visual communication for his idea and concept. So I created his brand identity, his visual logo,
Hmm.
brand identity. So I did a lot of. He has a painting in front of his store that I did, because that's what the concept was based off of, the Jordan 11 shoe, and I took the color palette and incorporated it in the store design. So I designed store, the floor, the logo, a lot, pretty much his whole presentation, in collaboration with his vision, and I just bring it to light.
What what just what motivates what inspires you when you see a wall or when you see a black canvas? Because I got plenty in my office. What tells you, you know what, I could do this here? What inspires you?
I like to I like to communicate. I really like to take complex ideas or concepts, or maybe even feelings, or maybe even experiences that are hard to communicate verbally, and I like to try to communicate that visually, so it becomes connected within itself, or at least a conversation starter.
Yeah.
Where you identify with certain things that you see within the image, but you're able to connect the dots and create your own story with the presentation. So what inspires me is just communicating things that are not publicized, not in the media as much, such as just I'm big on collaboration, and that's where most of us are prone to, like, competition, sporty type of mindsets, and I'm more or less like, individualizing that in the sense of like being the best that you can be, but collaborating, identifying the greatness in someone else and having that respect, and finding a way to work with others that complement what you have to offer. So I like to I really like to showcase different concepts and ideas and bring them to the forefront visually, so we could have some kind of conversation and get some better understanding of what is possible,
For me, I was asked one point in time in my life that I might spend money on certain things. It has to be something. Never find out what it was until I started buying certain projects. So I'm not allowed to buy any more art because I just buy random stuff. But I like, if it looks nice, I'll buy it. So, but your piece, again, I do have one in the office now. Do you do personal pieces for certain people, or do you do just general anything that somebody brings to your table?
Yes, I do commission pieces. As I develop and get more into my niche per se, I like to really focus on positive imagery, stuff that uplifts and inspires people, because that's the type that's a reflection of me. So I live in that space.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to doing other subject matters and things of that nature. Of course not. So, but I do take on commissions, to answer your question. I know you purchased one of my pieces. You commissioned me a couple years ago. And that's something I do. I love doing that, actually. I love bringing visions, manifesting visions, and bringing ideas and concepts. Like, I like doing that. Yeah.
Well, I did a little research, right?
Oh damn! Better look out.
Well, a couple of years ago, you did a podcast with someone local here, Berks County, and you mentioned your teachers, Miss Bloom, Mr. Turner, Mr. Burkhart, right?
Yeah.
From what you remember, what do you think took from each of those experiences?
Yes, Miss Bloom, introduction, basic, because I took her, that was my first art class in high school, I believe 10th grade, and then that took me into Mr. Turner. Mr. Turner gave me that spiritual aspect, that imaginative part of it, where I dug deep, and I was once I dug deep and I tapped into my imagination, that was it. So I feel like he provided that for me. He introduced me to that, to connect on that level. Mr. Burkhart, it was the technicality of art, the technique, the skill level, pushing me in different ways of just how to articulate the vision So from sketch to presentation and how to arrive at that level. But not like all these lessons or these teachers, they didn't, I had to, like, as far as painting, I kind of developed that on alongside of what I was taught. So I would say I'm kind of self-taught, and I had
Right,
the
because you
proper.
should just sketch before
Yes.
painting. You
Yeah.
had that basketball injury.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah. Actually, yeah. That's.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Oh,
and
man.
how that kind of brought you to art?
Yeah. Absolutely. So.
I didn't pay him for all this information, so it's just, as you know, I don't know where you're coming from.
It's cool. Yeah, I was into basketball. I was heavy into basketball. Middle school up into ninth grade. I thought I was, I was really interested in, taking as far as I could. And then I had this odd foot problem that it was just an ongoing thing. So I couldn't really develop my skills in basketball enough physically. I just, it went from, these ankle issues, and it was just a complex situation with my physicality to pursue basketball. So I turned to art. One of my close friends was like, he was kind of into art a little bit, and he was like, "Yo, you should take art class." And so I gave it a shot. And what solidified my painting was my father giving me a Easter basket full of paints because he saw I was getting interested into painting. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, for Easter paint set, but okay, you know what I mean? So it went from that, getting that basket, to painting on all my walls, to just going crazy with it. So that's kind of how developed. Not exactly, but that's kind of give you an overall point of view of how I started the journey.
How long after that did you end up having your first show at the Hydra Studios,
My first show.
or was that your first show?
Oh no, I had tons of shows. So upon graduating high school, I reached out to an organization called ACO. Ed Terrell was a part of that organization. I reached out to them. They took me under their wing. And I had several exhibits with them in their gallery. At one point, we were on the street of Penn Street selling paintings. And this is early on in my career. Like, I was like 18, 19. So, but we were really on Penn Street with our paintings, and all the way to when the Goggle Works first opened up. I was, I was right there exhibiting my work under the umbrella of for developing as an artist. Alongside of that, going to school in Philadelphia. It was just a lot of layers to it. But yeah, it developed me into visual artist I am today. And now I developed all the way into like a brand strategist. So I utilize what I've learned for these years, and I apply it to commercial art, building up businesses, building relationships with business owners, helping them visually communicate their product, service, business.
Now, I have a couple people online already asking questions. Just going to hit them off first. Where do you see the art industry heading in the next 10 years?
The next 10 years?
Yes.
That's a good question. I just see it growing and thriving because of technology and artificial intelligence. human intelligence has to combat that, right?
Mhm.
Now we could really have something to measure against, as far as human experience versus I don't want to say fake, but I want to say
Creative.
yeah, artificial. You know what I mean? Like we're all humans and we share that experience together, and we talk about value, we talk about authentic, being authentic, and that's where the conversation is going to go. So to experience real and to have a soul and spirit in work and human expression, that's going to be the topic of discussion. And I just see it being valued even more.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna ask you because I have a pleasure of having my second oldest daughter. She's going off to college, and when I just, what advice will you give her? Because sometimes she gets in her little dry spell, drought, or something. Don't motivate her. What, as a professional artist that you are, will you give her from starting college until and improving her career in this art industry? What type of advice will you give her?
Yes. So I would say own in and embrace her difference, her unique, and where she finds difficulties, that's where she should get excited about it, because that's that unique challenge that kind of stagnates her. That's where she's gonna find the technique to push forward. So it's gonna take time for her to really look that in the face and be like, I'm not gonna let it stop me. But within that moment, because we all have that moment, but that's the beginning of developing the technique and strategy to get past that. But it also is gonna define that uniqueness within her creations that she could utilize to defeat that at all times. So I my word of encouragement is actually my businesses, which is don't quit.
Yeah.
You know, I don't talk that much, but those, like, if I have to say anything to anyone, is don't quit. What you desire. If it's gonna provide growth, inspiration, I say don't quit that and keep pushing towards, providing that to us.
Yeah. I have
Can I piggyback off that
Go
real
ahead.
quick? All right. You did a podcast not that long ago, and you presented the phrase "Don't let a hard time humble you."
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Can you talk about a hard time and how you grew from that?
Yes. We all have them. We all have hard times, and it's something about a hard time though. When you're mature enough to, you have to. A hard time. I mean, these are gonna be cliche phrases, but I could dive into each one of them if need be. But like, they are lessons. You know what I mean? If you're out of alignment and you're not, or you need to learn something to make you better, you're gonna have a hard time. You're gonna face a difficult scenario where you either got to dig deep in yourself to figure out how to move forward, because you always want to move forward. You know what I mean? That's a fact. That's a rule. You know what I mean? So you always want to move forward. So you always want to be. You got to think in that space. So hard times are lessons. You know what I mean? And they're meant for you for growth. You know what I mean? So uh, just knowing that and having the patience to deal with difficult a difficult hardship, you you'll definitely get past it. and you'll come out better.
All right, online. What would you say is your favorite medium, or do you see yourself as a mixed medium artist?
Good question. I'm a multidisciplinary. I'm a sculptor. I'm a painter. Of course, I draw. You know, I use a lot of different mediums, but my specialty is painting, and I'm still growing in that field as well. But I don't know if you ever heard of the phrase Renaissance man, but I'm mimicking, or I inspire to be like a Renaissance, where I'm into architecture. I'm into fashion, art. You know, I'm into a lot of different expressions, the art. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely a sculptor, a painter. I draw. Um, but I utilize those skills in different ways, and I build relationships with different uh, to incorporate art in everything. Like this podcast is about.
Yeah.
You know, working with real estate agents and property owners and commercial property, to build that value, to enhance the aesthetic of properties, to, um, carve out culture. It's all encompassing. You know what I mean? So
That's what I was gonna lead up to. How do you believe we could incorporate the world of real estate to the world of art? Joining forces, painting a mural for us, like you have been doing, or even just incorporating an art piece for a property or for someone, just to work together. Because again, the world of art is just a whole nother genre. You can't catch me doing it. I can't put two sticks together. So my creative side is gone. But I definitely think that making intertwining the both worlds together can be special. You mentioned architects and stuff like that, but how do you think that we could bring those two worlds into one?
Yeah. I'm gonna say this first. My philosophy from high school is simply art is everything and everything is art, right? Not a lot of people understand that, you know what I mean? I could dive into that, but I wanted to put that out there before I answer your question. But yes, the art world and the real estate world has to come together, you know what I mean? And there's many ways that we have to work together in relationship. The relationship is important. When we talk about value, talk about appreciation, you know what I mean? So there's different tiers of it. There's a homeowner versus an investor, and then commercial buildings, you know what I mean? So I'll start with the commercial building or the investor. You know what I mean? That property in that community, the value goes up if you have a mural in there, or art installation, or if you're a business owner that cultivate your customer. The value, you want to bring attraction to your location. That's what art pieces does. That's why we travel to different countries, different states, to experience different art expressions, whether it's a statue, whether it's
Chair you're sitting in.
yeah, even the architecture. See, that's why I say art is everything and everything is art, because it's that, because these microphones that we're speaking through are designed in different ways. You know what I mean? Somebody had to really look at it differently. The functionality is the same, but the presentation is different. You know, I mean, people have their own point of view and their own opinion about different things, and I'm not. I ain't up for I ain't debating nothing like that. I get
Nah,
it.
it's
You
good.
know.
We're open here for that. We're open here for that reason. We enjoy conversations like this. Trust me, we had it. I'm not sure how much to follow. We have people here from mayors to developers to agents to different genre of life, and we just talked whatever it was. So, hey man, just express yourself how you feel. Don't worry about that, man. Um, uh, one of the things that I agree with someone online is they said put in like a stage in a house. So you're putting like a art piece or on a blank wall, or selling that art piece with the property, or painting. This is wall was white, and you put the mural there for that house and putting it together. I think that's be a nice because someone's gonna come in here and see it, do a fall level of it, and keep it there for the rest of their lives. Or the rest of how long they have the house. Um,
It brings life to any bare wall. I mean, we could. It just like I said, it's
yeah.
levels because people live differently. You know what I mean? People don't care to have life in their home.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
what I mean by life is like it could be. That's what I'm saying. Like some people like plants, some people don't. Some people like color, some people don't. You know what I mean? So, but what art does, it enhances the aesthetic, the value.
Yes.
You know, you can invest in a piece of art. You know, like when we get into the art world, you know, the value, or in a general sense, contracts, you know, or trust, you know, anything like that is the perceived value of something
Yes.
is an agreement between, you know, two or three more people in contract to build that up value. You know what I mean? So when we talk about investing in art as a homeowner versus investing in art as an investor, a real estate investor, you know, it's still those basics, but you know, different ways to approach.
It's a different world. Is it not different world, but a different way of thinking, a different way of approaching. Um, is there anybody in the industry that influenced you the most?
I'm a big art history type of guy, so I look at what's been done in the past and how throughout history they appreciated um, the expression of art.
Yes.
But but then I look at how it's it got its duality within itself because it's like we appreciate it when they're gone pretty much, but I think the appreciation is it's tough, but yeah, so I don't know.
It's cool, man.
Touch on too many, you know. So, but as far as the answer to the question, so I look to the so-called masters, and there's plenty of modern living artists that I look up to and I get inspired by. But there's a ton of all the masters I look up to. They're multidisciplinary approach to art where um, they could really transition into different facets of art,
Mm-hmm.
and then apply it on a big scale and have a big impact and you know, touch with the art.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many different layers with that. You know, there's levels of, you know, beginner level, hobbyist. You know, all different types of levels, which is necessary.
Mm-hmm. All right. we're all humans, man, and even in my world of real estate and I know your world of art, I am sure that you have a favorite piece, a favorite something that you like. This is my. I don't want to give it up. I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to. It's for me. But do you have that favorite piece for you? Is there a favorite piece?
I got several, but they're definitely tiered off. So the first one, the ultimate one, is the Thinker, which that's a 6 foot painting, 6 foot by 4 foot painting, oil painting. I did when I want to say I was like 19.
Wow.
And I was very ambitious, and I produced this piece. But how I arrived at that idea was simply technology. It's called. So I got a couple names for it actually. The Thinker Singularity. Singularity was the first name because it kind of tied to like how I arrived at that concept. You know, technology thinking for us as humans, and technology and humanity coming to a point where how do you decide if it's human or, you know, technology? So it's a point where it merges together, humanity and technology merge. And, you know, you see the iconic statue Thinker as a robot. That's the painting. Yeah, so that's my first one, and then I have
Still have it?
I still have it.
Still have it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I still got that. And there's a painting before that one that I created in high school. It's called Fear.
Ooh.
And I got first place for that painting, and I did it 6 feet tall as well, but I got a smaller version. It's called Fear. I got a tattoo on my back of it. That one's never gonna sell.
Just keep that close to heart.
Yeah.
You really go big, huh?
Yeah,
6 foot.
that's the thing. So I look at the scale and the size more of like music volume, you know, turn it up type thing. So the more real estate of the visual it takes up, the louder it speaks, you know. And my butterfly collection, I sold a nice amount of them, but there's some of them that I won't sell. And yeah, so
I see them everywhere, man. I see them.
I saw the one you did for transformation. Was it transformation?
Transformation.
That
Yeah.
was really nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
I seen again. They're also throughout. I see them throughout different spots, throughout Reading and different locations. People be rocking it too.
Real big on the brand, right? You were talking about branding.
Yeah.
Talking about that logo on the shirt here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So speaking of the speaking of, you know, the collection, the butterfly collection, you know, that stemmed from experience I had, and I was forced to retrospect a bit about, you know, where I came from and where I'm headed, and, you know, this idea started developing about, you know, like when I was younger, I wouldn't be able to have it, like be on here and have these type of conversations in front of an audience. That's just kind of not my thing. But I learned I had to speak and I had to communicate and talk to people. That's just life, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyways, I was more of a shy type of dude. So, you know, butterflies, now these are cliche sayings, of course. Butterflies in your stomach, being nervous, shy, that was kind of as a bashful type of guy, that's kind of, I could relate to that saying. And, but then I took it further. I was like, all right, I was in Reading as a caterpillar. And at that time, I was moving to New York. And then when I got to New York, I was embraced, or I tapped into the art community, and I felt like I kind of blossomed up, and I was more interactive with. I learned how to communicate better. So with that, it was like the butterfly effect type thing. That was brewing out of my experience, what I was thinking about. So I was like, all right. And at the time, I was coming up to my 33rd birthday, and I was like, I'm gonna do 33 butterflies that express different concepts and ideas. And so I developed the first one. I developed like the first 7 or so. Had a show. A couple of them got sold. But that very first one that I started out of the hospital, this is the silhouette of that one, and it's called Belly. And all these butterflies, they have concepts and ideas that are expressed this silhouette of a butterfly. So once I sold that one, I did the silhouette of it, and that became the icon, the representation of my brand, Don't Quit. I've been saying Don't Quit for the longest, ever since like before my son was born, so 2014 years. But so I kind of that's kind of the journey in creation of my brand that I represent. So that gives you a little background on the butterflies and everything.
Trust
Not
me.
in detail, but it gives you an idea.
Trust me, that butterfly, but the butterfly is recognizable as you go around the city. It is brand recognition is definitely there. I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you here. There's a question here. Ain't no way how I can repeat these names. So please look at this one. See if there's a question there for you. Before you answer that question, can you give me a little breakdown on this photo right here?
Yes, that mural is actually not too far from this location. It's inside an office space, a hallway of Peace and Harmony is the name of company, which is they facilitate therapy sessions and things of that nature. So this depicts the journey of recovery. So there's a figure standing in the middle road, and there's all different types of roads and unique paths. Recovery, which should be the top of the mountain of achievement. So this depicts, the journey that one has to take to recover if they're in that circumstance life. And it just shows, like, on the left hand side, it shows a broken individual, and in order to even get on the right path, you have to put yourself back together in some means of to able to act on this path to recovery. So so that's it within a nutshell. That's what it takes, the road to recovery.
Nice. And there's a few pictures that I was just scavenging through, and it just sticked out to me. This one.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That one sold in Philadelphia a few years ago. That is an abstract representation of, creating your own umbrella So it's an abstract representation of a butterfly laying down with roses as the umbrella as storm is rain. Like it's a real um abstract way of just saying, getting like. But at that particular time, I was veering off from the traditional look of a butterfly, and I was breaking it down into shapes.
Yeah.
So the yellow, orange, purple, pink kind of represent the butterfly broken up. It's just a weird concept I had to get out, and
It's cool because like I like that. I love abstract art, and when I seen that, I was like, yeah, I've already seen it before. That'd be different. You have another one here that stuck out like a sore thumb, and it's real nice picture here. This one here.
So that one sold same night in Philadelphia. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Geno Steaks.
I am.
I might know that.
I know. Hey, I know what it is. I have my opinions. People may not like it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, he's the owner of that original piece there.
Wow.
So what happened? So he purchased it when in his home. So what I did was like during Thanksgiving, I have this thing where I give back to the community the best way I can out of my pocket, giving or just flipping the Thanksgiving thing in a sense of gratitude coming. So I give back to the different way. So one of the years I took that image and collaborated with another business owner, came up with the phrase, giving your flowers while you're still here.
Nice.
So that rose was on the front and saying was on the back. We got the message out that way, apparel and art together to communicate that. I did a couple other things with that image, but yeah, that's the story behind that one there.
Yeah, any questions?
The question from one of the viewers here: have any favorite works by? Sorry, I'm gonna butcher this.
Basquiat.
Warhol or Rembrandt.
See,
Rembrandt, I love.
That's why I passed that question to him because I was on butcher it completely.
Yeah. Rembrandt, pretty much all he's the master at realism. You know what I mean? Like, my style is realism in combination with surrealism. So I love Rembrandt and I love Salvador Dali. I love Basquiat. To pick one of his paintings, that's tough. I just went to a recent exhibit in Manhattan, 250 private collection. Some of his family's work. That was amazing. That was great. That's a tough one there. I can't single out any of Basquiat's. Andy Warhol, I like his perspective where he took the art, understanding it, pushed the envelope with his approach to art. And for him, we get reproduction of art and the acceptance of that action, reproducing art, posters, stickers, whatever, and stuff like that to be able to market ourselves. Yeah, I'm able to single out any of his.
That's the beauty about being an artist, man. An art
Yes.
piece is an art piece, and you're gonna, if it sticks out and if something that you are drawn to, you're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Now, we all go through this managing work, life, and being an artist. Us being as agents, where we're available 24 almost 24 hours a day. You being an artist, how painting a mural on the side of a building, that takes up a lot of time. So how do you incorporate your family, your work life, and the kids and stuff like that? How you bring them into it?
Yeah, just like you said last week, or the last podcast is time management. You know what I mean? And it goes back to that value and appreciation. I can't express that enough because you gotta be able to value your time.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're graduating in the field that you're in, especially when you're an entrepreneur and you're working for yourself, time management is key in the sense of like you gotta value your time and you gotta understand your value measured against, I mean, you're constrained because you're in the industry per se, but you could measure your so-called value within that constraint a little bit to put that time management system in place so you're more efficient and you're able to delegate your time and energy to your loved ones and your work and be able to provide for different people of your life. So you got your family, you got your work life, you got your customers, you got your clients, and you all want to be able to come for them. You want to be able to deliver, and in quality. You know what I mean? There has to be quality energy towards all these different. So, and it's a work in progress. You know what I mean? It's constant. Um, Tweak here, tweak there. It's a constant
Always.
work in progress as far as that's concerned.
Always a work in progress, especially being your own boss and working around with different clientels and just kind of like juggling everybody at once.
Yeah.
This is definitely tough to do at times. Completely understand that. On our you traveled. I seen recently you're out there. What, Brazil?
Brazil.
Brazil. Very good. Brazil, man.
Yeah.
I never been there, but how was it? How's the traveling life of does that inspire you? You go to these different countries. It's just as an artist, I think it just probably goes in your head like, damn, I need to get back to the shop.
Yes. Inspires me. It humbles me, inspires me, really puts back we talk about, we can go back to the time management thing. Like what is really important. One thing we know for sure is as human beings, we only have a certain amount of time.
Yes.
Sometimes are shorter than others. So that even puts another. It ain't like oh yeah, I got like 100 years on here, so I'm all right. So I could put this aside and do it another day because some people this earth early, right?
Yes.
And it's surprisingly early and it's devastatingly early. So that we can't predict. So we have to value our time, effort, and intention, but provide on this earth, service, whatever we as our day-to-day work, how it impacts, and when we leave, is it gonna stay? Is it gonna build a legacy? Is it gonna communicate an idea that helps other people live? So these are the things that through traveling I get to really hone down on, get a grip, and I'm able to provide quality service to the people I love servicing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's traveling is great. I recommend it, and I want to do way more. Yeah, I was blessed to be able to, travel to Brazil, Mexico, and all these different places,
Yeah.
different people, different culture, different ways of living,
Yep.
different art, different expression. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
I have about 3 more questions off the top of my head. Anybody online, let me know if you have any questions for Theron here. Please let me know. All right. Real quick, what would you say is your favorite location? Strictly from Facebook Live.
Favorite location?
Yes.
From where I've been. I want to say Aruba, but Brazil is top tier. The reason why I would pick Aruba because of people, how I felt, how they make me feel. The people there, like the hospitality was top tier. I love Mexico because of that too, but I think further, and just that vibe and energy of being that one happy island that they speak on. I stand true to that. Good.
Do you see another question online?
There's one here. What advice would you give to someone who wants to own a gallery one day?
Nice, that'll be great. We need more of them. But yeah, I would say, yeah, think in terms of culture. You know what I mean? I think, and so when you're thinking about a gallery, I would think about culture, and I would think about curation of your displays, and stuff like that. I think culture first, and the artists will make anything happen. You get a bunch of artists together, they'll make, and that's the one thing, but there's different levels of artists, there's different facets of artists in different industries.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We got, what do you call them, developers?
Developers, yeah.
I consider them artists as well. It's like artists are just people that get things done. You know what I mean? Like we need more relationship. As artists, we need to build more relationships, and on vice versa. Anybody that's building something needs to have relationship with artists. I need to open that up and understand the importance of that relationship. But yeah, I think we need more of galleries to answer.
I'm gonna piggyback what you just said about artists. Now, I definitely agree with you. Developers, architects, that's a different side of art.
Yeah.
Bringing a building that's completely brick and mortar, just straight up bricks, and converting into a complete house, apartment building, or commercial space, or residential. That takes art. That's art. Architects making. Yeah.
It takes that technicality, but it also takes that imagination to imagine what it could be and put in the work to get it vision.
Yep.
Manifesting.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% with that. Picking back off of what you mentioned a couple minutes ago, would you ever collaborate with other artists?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. That's in the works. That's what my company I'm building right now. It's in the infancy stage. Not in experience, but in structure and foundation. Okay? But yeah, that's
Hold on. You just said you have a magazine, or you had a magazine.
Yeah.
One or the other.
Yeah, I founder and creative director of a magazine about 10 plus years ago.
It's still active?
It's not.
No.
Yeah, I wish it was still up and running. Something special. I started that with a childhood friend at that whole, and it was amazing because it did a lot of good for sure, and just it was one of those case studies where it showed what was possible. Limited amount of resources, limited amount of knowledge, but the determination and collaboration aspect of it and could be done.
Mm-hmm. Maybe here this office and our company, we collaborate somehow for like the kids coming back to school, education seminar. We have a conference room. Maybe they could do some type of art that you show them there that for the kids. Something that we could both collaborate here. Charles, don't ask me to paint. I will not paint at all. I will have trouble painting a stick figure, so don't even ask me. But I'm pretty sure Angel could do better. Draw a fish or something.
Give it a try.
There's so many different ways, man. There's tons of different ways.
I tried to draw a circle and it didn't go well. So I gave up. So that's why I just buy it. And I sit it down and say, yeah, that was fun.
We got our own little interests and areas that we thrive in as.
Yeah, I love art. I just can't do it. I would definitely end up buying whatever I like, or at least I used to. So I got locked down for a minute. One question I do have, I ask everybody that comes here. So I'm not sure if you have followed up with this, but got caught on. What is your personal definition of success?
That's it's wealth, health, along with health, get everything. Taking care of yourself that's success. Like that, when you're healthy, you're wealthy. Because I always say this, like, I'm rich in the mind and heart already. I'm rich. And I look at money as art. This is a weird way I look at it, but it's art because we identify money. Like, how do we separate fives, the ones, the 20s, and the hundreds? Is on it, which is the art on it that represents the value of it. But anyways, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm like, wealthy is having that mind, that the heart and mind coming together and understanding and appreciating why you're here, appreciating the moment and present, operating from that space. But yeah, wealth and health.
Andrew, you have any questions? See any questions online?
Let's see. Nothing, no questions here, but I have one question here. Can you share any upcoming projects or exhibitions that you're excited about?
Yes, I got a lot. I'm thankful to have.
That slipped my mind. That was one of the questions I couldn't really think of it because I got sidetracked, but that slipped my mind. Appreciate you brought it up.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm working on several. God willing, first and I'm thankful for the inquiries. You know what I mean? I don't usually put out things until they're solidified, but I'm working on several murals. I'm actually working on marketing campaign, really introduce some of the ideas I've been working on. So I got this marketing campaign that's gonna introduce a lot of the ideas I've been developing. I'm excited about the different inquiries of murals, different projects I have in the works. So this rest of this year is looking nice. And I'm thankful for that. So expect a lot of more murals and a lot of more work. Collaborations.
Hey man, whenever count me in, man. I'll be there in the stands looking from afar, man. If wherever that project is complete, count me in. Um, Looking forward to what you bring for the future, man. And always, you just know you do have a big fan base, and you have I follow it, what you do constantly. Um, I'm proud of the fact that you coming from where we're already high. There's a lot of great people coming from already high. That gets little to some love, but seeing what you have done over the years, man, highly appreciate it, and just enjoying the process of Theron Cook throughout this journey of your life, man. It's just amazing, man. Appreciate it again. Thank you. What you bring for the city and what you have been doing is a pleasure.
Thank you. I really that means a lot to me, man. That's why that you don't do it for the accolades or the recognition, but when somebody identifies, sees that, that's what I cherish, and that's what drives me. And just be an example of what's possible, and I want to represent positive change, a positive effort. Just take what I was born with. Take my resources, something great out of it, where it serves, whether it's inspiration, whether it's beautification, whatever the sector is, as long as it's positive in the vein of
One thing, man, you're leaving a legacy out there. You're leaving a legacy for kids out there who are struggling, and you're leaving a legacy on your own kid, seeing that dad is doing it, I can do it. The kid down the street is from the mural. He's if he could do it, I could do it. So you're leaving a legacy, man, and that's just pure gold as it is. Again, definitely appreciate that. Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, you have any question? You have anything to say, man? Do you want to tell the people out there?
Well, I want to thank you for having me once again. The honor, pleasure, reach out and consider me, be on this platform. I commend you for how you recognize what I'm doing is the same how I recognize what you're doing. Be able to facilitate this podcast and have guests open up dialogue, have conversation, growth necessary, and it's a part of the journey, a collective journey. All of us has to play our part and have to recognize and respect each other's journey with yourself. Thank you, and whoever tuned in, thank you. Chiming in and listening, whatever, watching.
Oh, and then next, coming down to the final episode 2 or 4 is weird me saying it, but coming down to the final 2 episodes or an episode of this podcast again is live, is uncut, unedited. And hopefully in a month we take a break. I want to change it up a little bit. We're just gonna talk about the industry, the art industry, and whether it's music, whether it's whatever it is in regards to art. I definitely want to change it up just a tad bit, and just it's gonna be just strictly what we're doing here now, just a one-on-one conversations and what's out there. Again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Share, like, but do YouTube says to subscribe and like. Facebook, please follow me on Facebook, and appreciate you guys showing up here. And thank you. You guys have enjoyed your weekend.
Thanks for the question. You did your research.